The new podcast, In the Shadow of Princeton, starts as the matriarch of a prominent Princeton family is found stabbed to death in her locked basement. Investigators look from a serial attacker to her family to Princeton University students. One hot-blooded investigator sees a conspiracy. Is he way off base, or does privilege let you get away with murder? In the Shadow of Princeton is available wherever you get podcasts, or you can binge it ad-free by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
Bone, joint, and muscle injuries, they can happen without warning. That's why UPMC Orthopedic Care provides convenient walk-in access at our injury clinics throughout the region. No appointments are needed, just walk in for expert evaluation and exceptional care by our team of orthopedic specialists. Clinics are located in Carlisle, Lidditz, Harrisburg, and Enola. For directions and hours or to learn more, visit upmc.com/injuryclinic.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the Pennsylvania High School Football Report podcast. I'm Brian Linder, here with Evan Wheaton. Evan, what's up?
What's up?
Rymir Vaughn is here, too. Rymir, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, Brian. How are you?
Man, you know how I am. Me and you are trying to figure out right now exactly how much PennLive signed Evan Wheaton for. The man is living in the tallest building in Harrisburg, buying $300 sports jacket like it's nothing.
Hey, man.
Going over to Billy Maloney's retirement sale in Middletown and just dropping hundreds of dollars and telling us, like, you know where I go and drop money, Evan?
Where do you go?
Ross, dress for less.
Well, hey, it's not every day that I get to go to this Keystone Awards banquet, so I needed to not look like a bum, and they hooked me up with something nice. Everything's like 50% off there, so yeah, Bill Maloney's menswear, great stuff in Hummelstown. Had a really nice time out there.
Free plug for Billy as he's going out. He probably could have used that before the retirement sale, Evan.
Yeah,
we might not be having a retirement sale had you maybe drop that in there for him earlier. No, I go over to Ross. I get the $19 Under Armour jacket that's normally like $100. I'm stoked, and you over here making me feel like small potatoes. Rymir knows what he's saying. Yeah, he knows.
Oh yeah. Ross, Burlington, Marshalls, all of them.
Yeah, I hit.
Man, I like Burlington.
Man, I used to make those. My wife and I used to make that a Saturday. Man, we hit up Ross and Burlington and TJ Maxx, Marshall, all of them. Man, find some good deals. Here you are buying. How much PennLive paying you these days? Whew. Come off some bread. Let me hold something, Evan.
Pretty $300 jackets.
I got some bills to pay, man.
Well,
my dog. I had to carry my dog to the vet Saturday. She almost died again. 17 years old or something.
Dottie.
$2,100.
That's a lot of money, but that's your baby, so.
Got to.
And Rymir, he's got a car payment now.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, Rymir bought a car. We're talking about my little sports jacket. This guy bought a car.
Yeah.
I already know. Chill out.
How's the car riding, Rymir?
It's good. I've had it for like a week and a half now. It's already has a recall, so I have to go and get that fixed.
Oh no! Is this is like your first new car you bought?
I must spit out my coffee, man.
Yes, my first new car. My car was
into buying your first new car. How old are you, Rymir?
24.
24. Bought his first new car, Evan. 2 weeks in, got a recall.
I told him to buy a Subaru, man. I tried to tell him.
You did.
What did I say?
Hey man, Hondas last forever too.
Man, you should have got you like a little SUV, like a little Kia or something.
I wanted an SUV, but the prices wasn't pricing right, so I had to get what was pricing.
I feel you. Well, look, folks might be reading between the lines and realizing we really don't have much of a script for this one. This is the unscripted version, although Evan has a few things jotted down he wanted to go over. So let's see, Evan. Let's see if you can keep the listeners and impress me and Rymir. What is on your list right now of things to discuss? Go.
Well, first off, got to discuss this crazy game between Harrisburg and Cumberland Valley. No disrespect to CV, but I think everyone and their mother had Harrisburg winning this one, right?
Yeah.
But those guys, they came in and they got it done. I guess just jumping right into it, we had Dan Sostic out there covering the game with Sean Simmers, the GOAT. Looked like pretty close towards the end. CV was kind of beating up on them a little bit defensively. Jaden Holmes, sophomore, bringing down Messiah Mickens on 4th and 1 for no gain. Good stop, turnover on downs to effectively ice it. But just running down the line here, Keanu Green pick while covering Elias Koch and adding a 31-yard touchdown reception. Brad Hockenberry, Gavin Kendrick, Elijah Sherman all had interceptions as well. Sherman also matched Green's 31-yard score. Brody Pines rushed for 110 yards and a touchdown, and Andrew Rice, who I watched kick a field goal against Central Dauphin, drilled a 35-yarder. Guys, Cumberland Valley walked into Severance Field and got it done. Just what are your thoughts from all that?
Well, Evan and Rymir, the thing I watched the game and the thing about it was Harrisburg, we give them a lot of credit. They came into the season. Before the season, we're thinking this is a state title contender. Then Sean Lee, is found ineligible. That's a huge loss. I was just watching his film at his prep school, and man, he is balling out. He's playing corner, and I think he's playing some receiver. But man, he's looking good over there. But he was going to be their quarterback. He was an all-state quarterback a year ago. Really made the offense go with the weapons in it, and they were adding some new weapons to the mix. Deontay Sheffy and Messiah Mickens, as you mentioned, the Penn State commit. And then they lose lead at eligibility. They lose Sean. They lose Kevin Brown second week. State's top ranked junior.
Foot injury.
And they got beat down against LaSalle in the first game, and then they overcome some adversity. They beat Bishop McDevitt. They won a few games. Jayon Lewis gets going. They were looking like a team that was putting it together, and then slowly started to kind of unwind again. I know Cal, I don't think, was happy with their win over Chambersburg. They were a little sluggish in a few games, and then they just did not seem to have that typical Harrisburg fire and oomph in them in this game. I think Jayon had one of his probably his worst game as a starting quarterback for them. And I say that being a guy who's really liked what he's done.
He's killed it.
Yeah, not really trying to knock the kid. I think he threw like 4 interceptions, right?
Yeah.
So, it's tough to win like that. I don't know, man. I don't know what
and then they almost did, too. They almost did.
Yeah. The biggest storyline, look, it's huge for Cumberland Valley to win this game. Huge for them. Great for them. Good win for them. But from the 6A playoff picture, from the District 3 playoff picture, because I'm not sure Harrisburg is now, I'm not sure even if they would have played up to what they've been playing, they were a state title contender in 6A anymore. But I'm not sure what this does for them down the stretch. I think this kind of throws some more question marks into the District 3 title picture as well.
Some food for thought is that we did say the same thing last year, and then they ended up beating Manheim Township in the District 3 final. And then before my time here at PennLive, the same things were said the year before that. And so part of me still has to, I guess, see it to believe it if they're not going to – this is still a deadly group who I think is going to go pretty far. And obviously you win District 3, you're right there in the state semis. So, anything's possible. But yeah, obviously it's got to be a red flag for Harrisburg, but such a great win for Cumberland Valley. And again, the Cumberland Valley last year was one of the more compelling stories to me, just rebounding from a 1-4 start to win out the rest of their regular season, and then give Manheim Township a scare in the playoffs. That's a good group over there, the Eagles.
Yeah. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see where Harrisburg goes from here, guys. I don't know. If they come out and they play with that kind of energy, it's going to be tough for them. It's going to be tough for them to do the things that they've done in the past. So we shall see. What else do you have on your list here, Evan?
I was going to.
Rymir, did you want to throw anything in there? You got anything that Rymir's sitting over there? He's rubbing his chin. He's nodding.
I wanted to say, he's
thinking about if the Ultimate's going to come back from the shop or not.
That's first thing on Rymir's mind.
That's
mine too.
But with Harrisburg, I kind of felt like they were due to have one of these games. They escaped Bishop McDevitt. They escaped State College. They escaped Cedar Cliff. They were kind of due for a loss. And it just so happened to be this week last week against Cumberland Valley. I don't think this is necessarily a maybe like a sign of things to come for them. But it just felt like, especially I was at that Cedar Cliff game, and it felt like Cedar Cliff like was almost there, and State College was almost there, and Bishop McDevitt was almost there, and who they played, Cumberland Valley was there, and they ended up defeating Harrisburg. So I don't think this is like a sound the alarms warning type of game, type of loss for them. I think they were just due for a loss.
Well, I think the interesting thing is, Rymir, is people expect Harrisburg to beat up people because they've beat people up the better part of the last decade now. Felt like they got some things rolling there with Jayon, but you're right. It's kind of been like I said, it's kind of been like a slow matriculation going through Cedar Cliff where it was close, and then I know he was. I think Cal said something like he wasn't particularly happy with effort in the win over Chambersburg. So I don't know. When the coach brings that up against Chambersburg, and it probably was a little bit of a lackluster effort, and then you end up losing to a team like Cumberland Valley, which is, again, not knocking them, great win for them, but everybody had Harrisburg beating them, and on paper, they should have. I mean, they have way more college prospects than Cumberland Valley right now.
Oh, yeah. Let me read this really good quote from Coach Josh Oswald. I thought it was a good quote. He said after the win, "Can't help but be emotional, like we were literally doing this while we have freshmen on the field. We have sophomores on the field. We play in the toughest league in the state each week. Harrisburg is very good at football, one of the best in the state. So we talked about it all week, just taking care of the things that we can control and weathering the storms. We know stepping out, they were going to have adjustments. There was going to be another storm coming. We just got to be able to weather that. As long as we can prevail, then we'll be all right." So, yeah, literally, like, you got freshmen, sophomore, like, it's a young team. They obviously graduated a lot of guys last year. Alex Suave, Bryce Starr, it's a lot of cats graduating from CV. So to have this young group too on top of it come out and play the way they did, I mean, hats off to Cumberland Valley.
Mm-hmm.
Bone, joint, and muscle injuries, they can happen without warning. That's why UPMC Orthopedic Care provides convenient walk-in access at our injury clinics throughout the region. No appointments are needed, just walk in for expert evaluation and exceptional care by our team of orthopedic specialists. Clinics are located in Carlisle, Lidditz, Harrisburg, and Enola. For directions and hours or to learn more, visit upmc.com/injuryclinic.
What's next on the list, Evan? What do you guys sip your coffee? What are you drinking, Evan?
Coffee.
Yeah. What you got? Do you put anything in it?
No, I just drink it straight black.
See, Dan likes his like snickerdoodle flavors and stuff like that. And
the guy who doesn't like ice cream likes his
coffee black, man. That's the way you go. Like motor oil. Rymir, you drink coffee?
I don't. I haven't drank coffee since I was in high school.
Brother, how you're in journalism without coffee is crazy.
What do you do for energy?
Energy drinks.
See, I used to be an energy drink junkie, but you know what? They might have gave me cancer. I don't know. You ever look at the back? But look, you ever look at the back of them? They got all these what's your favorite energy drink?
I like the Monster Rehabs. They're not like the regular Monsters. I believe they're lower in what's the drug? Caffeine. They're lower in caffeine. It's like 150 milligrams.
What's the drug?
Check out that Zoa peach mango. That's the Rocks energy drink. They got them like at Costco and stuff like that. It's like,
okay. I'll try it out.
You get them on Amazon too. They're sugar free too.
I'll try it out.
See, I used to be an energy drink junkie, man, but look, you got to just get into the coffee black, man.
Now you're a cold brew junkie. We got to get like a cold brew sponsorship somehow.
Yeah, you just get the coffee black, man, cold brew black, and just you drink that, and you just, there's nothing in it but coffee, one ingredient, and man, you'll be lit. You'll be ready to run through the wall.
See, I don't know. I can't drink coffee.
My big self, I look like the Kool-Aid man running around here on one leg because I need a hip replacement.
Sometimes before, like, if it's like if I'm anticipating like a big night on one of these like football Fridays, the amount of coffee I'll have before driving out is staggering.
Oh yeah,
especially if like back in the day when I was covering Jersey Shore over in District 4, that no huddle offense that they run, it's like a reporter's worst nightmare. I'd have like 5 cups of coffee before going to that game.
You'll get there, Rymir. You'll get there. You gotta get off these too much sugar in the Monster Rehabs. We're way down the rabbit hole here, but
no, it's not. No, it's not. Those zero sugars. That's why I drink them.
Oh, Monster's kind of you're still young in the game to be drinking Monster, man. Monster's like the intro energy drink.
The intro energy drink.
Get the Zoas, man. Send me your address. I'll send you some.
All right, that's even better.
But if you overdose on them,
But yeah, don't do
no
that.
legal responsibility if you drink 4 of them and trying to stay up all night gaming and you.
I got my limit. I got one a day. One a day.
Meg, our producer Meg is looking at us like, talk about football. Look, we went down a rabbit hole. Okay, some people like the rabbit holes. I've been told. So
Yeah, there's an appetite for rabbit holes, but getting back to football, I have a couple of statewide guys I want to give a shout out to. Both quarterbacks, both on like opposite sides of the state too. Looking at Samaj Beals, QB out of Roman Catholic. He threw for 359 yards and 5 touchdowns in a 54-24 win over Father Judge in Philly Catholic League action. Want to bring him up because obviously coming off a hot start like that, St. Joe's Prep's up next for those guys. Obviously interesting stuff happening out in Rymir's neck of the woods over in Philly with LaSalle overcoming St. Joe's Prep, and now it's looking like Roman Catholics' turn to try and take a stab at them. And then the other guy I want to give a shout out to, we've talked about him, I think, a good amount on the pod, is Matt Sig, QB out of Fort Cherry. He accounted for 315 yards, 208 rushing, 107 passing, 6 touchdowns in a 49-34 win over Bishop Canavan. That's a really good win for Fort Cherry. They're ranked number 1 in our 1A state rankings. Bishop Canavan is at number 10, so it's a very tough opponent that they took down there, and Matt Sig obviously doing his thing.
Yeah, you guys know Samaj Beals has been on this podcast before. He's really good. Before Kalen DeBoer took over at Alabama, at one point he did have an Alabama offer. I think he's kind of probably slipped a little bit in the recruiting rankings, but I liked it. Not the biggest in the world. It kind of reminds me of Bryce Young. He can sling it around a little bit. Good football player. Matt Sig's probably going to play safety in college. Pretty good. Now, you brought up LaSalle College, obviously, and they beat Bonner Prendy, which is a 4A team, over the weekend, but they were undefeated. Bonner Prendy was down to 8. They're at 8th right now in the 4A polls. They were up at 6th. But LaSalle is now number 1 in 6A. That's the team that rolled in here and beat Harrisburg down to start the year. And they've beaten St. Joe's. They beat Bonner Prendy. LaSalle's the best team in the state, guys.
I believe, and you know what, it's going to be exciting because, they won the battle, not the war, right? Those two teams are going to meet again, see who gets the old state final there. But I believe Bonner Prendy is the team that took out Pope John Paul from last year, school that Austin Herzog and I covered quite a bit. And that was a special year for them, winning their first conference championship in a thriller over Springford, 6A school. So, Bonner Prendy's definitely on the radar.
Yeah, Rymir Evan came last year, was his first year, and he spent all year telling us that Pope John Paul is going to be a threat to win the state championship. They lost like first round or something.
Yeah, well, they had 5 turnovers, but lost by just 1 touchdown. So,
What about Emotep in that mix? You just throwing Emotep out, man? You're not counting them in that mix to come out?
Hey, Emotep moved up to 6A, and we'll see.
They're 4th in 6A right now, 7-1. The only team they lost to was from St. Louis or something like that.
All right, well, maybe it won't be LaSalle Emotep in the Philly Catholic League Championship. You can't count out Emotep, but between those 3 guys, District 12 is stacked, particularly at 6A right now. LaSalle means serious business. I don't think it's sound the alarm time for Emotep. Their other loss came from a nationally ranked team from Ohio. They're still just as formidable.
Look at 6A. Look at 6A real quick. 1's LaSalle, 2 St. Joe's, 3 Central Buck South, 4 Emotep, 5 Bethlehem Freedom, 6 Manheim Township, 7 State College, 8 Pittsburgh Central Catholic, 9 Easton, 10 Wilson Westline. Easton, I've kind of been watching them all year. They've had some big performances. I've been impressed with them at 9. State College, CD East was undefeated. had their best record going in, 7-0. State College beat those guys down. Ramir, I know you've seen a lot of CD East. I don't know if you've seen State College this year in person, but I think I said it on the podcast. I thought State College was going to win that game. I thought it was also a game that, CD East could win under the right circumstances. I didn't expect it to be, what was it, like 50 something to 17 or something. It was not a good win, a good loss.
55-17.
55-17. I was not expecting State
Yeah.
College to beat them up that bad.
No.
It was when I was on Penn Zone with Austin, because Brian, you had your emergency.
Mhm.
That was the game we streamed, and it seemed like every time we turned around, State College was in the end zone again. And it goes to show how legit, State College is, especially going up. Being undefeated is hard, no matter, what sport it is. It's hard to win games or consistently put together wins, no matter what sport, no matter what level it's on. And CD East, like, they're undefeated. They play well. The game that I seen them, I forgot who the opponent was, but they look pretty good. They look pretty good. And to watch State College just go in there and absolutely like kick the
Beat the brakes off.
Yeah, they kicked their behinds and they beat the brakes off of them. And it goes to show just how legit State College is. And I think it poses a lot of questions for CD East, because it's like they have, what they got coming up? McDevitt this week, and then Harrisburg next
Yeah.
week.
So I mean, they could end up 7-3, which I think they're going to find a way to win one of those games. But we'll see if they can rebound from this. But 7-3 would not have been a bad record.
State College was like this close to beating Harrisburg too. Again, draining the clock on what would have been a game-winning field goal drive, but Elias Koch played the hero and got that block. So, I think that's what State College's only loss is to Harrisburg.
Yeah,
and I mean, not it was that close.
I mean, I cut you off there, but I was just saying that I think at the beginning of the season, none of us would have thought 7-3 would have been a bad record at all for CD East. But I think the way they were closing out the season, they at least want to be 8-2. I'm sure. They want to be 9-1, but at least you at least want to win one of these next two. But go ahead with what you were saying.
No, I think they can. I think the two games that they have coming up are winnable. Like, I do think Bishop McDevitt and Harrisburg are beatable. I'm not sure if they pull off a win against Bishop McDevitt, but I think Harrisburg might be their best chance at getting a win, because if they can catch Harrisburg on one of those days where they're struggling and the passing game isn't working, the run game isn't working, the defense has to carry them, I think they might be able to pull out a win. But I wouldn't bet on it. Like, I wouldn't. If I was a betting man and I had to put all my chips in, I'd probably say they end the season 7-3. But I think Harrisburg might be their best chance at a win.
I still feel like Harrisburg is going to win against CD East. I don't know how close it's going to be. I think it'll be closer than a lot of people think. They had a thriller last year, but obviously, it was Sean Lee show and the Jared Porter show. Neither of those guys are going to be playing, so we might be getting a much different game. But I don't know. I still feel like I would probably pick Harrisburg to win over CD East, but we're not there yet. We're on to this week.
Yeah, that's going to be a heck of a way to close out. That's a rivalry, guys, and both of these teams, we go here into this week 9, got some questions to answer, obviously. So
not to overlook this week, but like week 10 is going to be nuts, because on top of that, you also have Bishop McDevitt at State College, and then you have Mechanicsburg and Shippensburg meeting. Week 10 is going to be like the week of marquee grand finales, so that'll be fun.
That'll be fun. I like Mechanicsburg. They're 8-0. Hats off to them, but I don't know how strong their schedules have been right now. I think Shippensburg will be a good test for them, just to kind of see where they're at, because Shippensburg they're not a wide open team, right? But they're a little tough. They're a tough squad. So I think that'll be a good test for Mechanicsburg getting ready for the playoffs there. What else did you have on the list, Evan?
Oh man, not much. The list is actually is run dry, so I'm calling an audible right now.
We got 2 weeks left in the year. Coming up, This will come out either Thursday or Friday. We got 2 weeks left in the year, guys. Any thoughts about these last 2 weeks in the regular season?
Well, actually, I do have one thing that I forgot to mention is, I was at Steel High, not to divert, but Nazir Fuller, just had a story on him today as we're recording this on Penn Live. Week 2, really quick against Juniata, he was taken off the field on a stretcher. He had like a really serious concussion. Coach Andrew Irby had said that he was talking and moving a little bit, but it's tough. And then he was out for 2 weeks against Halifax and Upper Dauphin. But I just saw him Friday night, War Veterans Memorial Field, and he returned to the second half kickoff for a touchdown. He's right back in form. And for those who don't know, Nazir Fuller was the guy who caught Alex Irby's 58th touchdown of last season against Fort Cherry to break the single season state record for passing touchdowns. Now he's back as a senior, so he's been making these types of boom boom plays. But to see him go through that and come back and be playing at such a high level now, I thought that was really good stuff to catch up with him and ask him how he's doing and what it was kind of like going through that. So did want to give him a shout out on the pod today as well.
Yeah, he's super fast too. So
he's alarmingly fast. Yeah,
he's such a good player.
So coming up on our, like I said, season winding down. We got 2 weeks left. Rymir, it's been your first year in the Mid-Penn. How you guys felt about the way things have unfolded so far, and what are we looking for down the stretch of the regular season?
I mean, I've obviously, it's football, so I'm gonna enjoy it regardless. But Mid-Penn football has been a lot more competitive than I would have thought, because maybe I got on like not rose tinted glasses, but biases, because like I played high school football, my team was absolutely garbage, and there was a lot of blowouts. So it was like that's kind of what I expected when I think of high school football. But after coming out here, it's very competitive, and I went to one blowout, I think it was, or one like absolute terrible game. But other than that, it's been great, and I'm really looking forward to see how Harrisburg finishes out the season. I've been like, they've always been in the back of my mind, because it's so interesting to see like the up and downs that they had throughout, not only before the season, but like first week, second week, and like throughout the entire season so far. So I'm really interested to see how they finish. For their sake, I hope they finish well. I think I'm at their game this week. They play Central Dauphin. Am I correct? I think they play Central Dauphin this week, and I'm going to be there so I get another chance to watch them. So I'm really excited to see how they finish the year.
It's a good Central Dauphin defense, too. I'm really interested to see about Trinity. I mean, they're 7-1? When you lose Jordan Hill going up to Penn State, Santana Young going over to CD East, who's been killing it for CD East, and these guys like Christian Joy, Emil Way, the whole crew over there, being able to, under a new coach and such new personnel, just cleaning house. And then they're also cleaning house on the field, 7-1. So I'll be seeing them against Susquehanna Township on Friday. Quick little drive over to Cobo Field. I love the environment at Cobo Field. Anytime I catch a Trinity game over there, whether it's Camp Hill or East Pennsboro, it's just the student section's awesome, and it's just an awesome environment. It's one of my favorite places to catch a game. So I'm going to be interested to see how Trinity maneuvers its way through the postseason, because I did not have them at 7-1. I didn't have them close to 7-1. I don't think a lot of people did, but for that program to turn around the way that they did with how much they lost, it's super compelling, and I think Trinity's legit right now.
I think, as we talk about the season coming to its end, the regular season, we could run through Rymir's senior season at Overbrook.
Man.
They started off with a 4-22 loss to High School of the Future.
Oh, man.
52-6 to John Bartram, they lost.
Oh, brother.
36-22, they lost to Franklin. 2014, Olney played that one close.
To who?
Played that one close, man.
Which game was it?
Olney.
Oh. Olney, yeah, I mean. Hey,
Boys Latin Charter, 64-26.
Oh,
hey.
Rymir.
Overbrook sucked, bro. It was
46-6 to MCNP, Mastery Charter North.
Oh
yeah,
boy.
the last game, the senior game, they have a turkey bowl every year, like on Thanksgiving, and they have a big rivalry with West Philly, and a whole bunch of like old alums and parents and stuff was out there, and yeah, it got 30 balled. It was 30-0, and it was a terrible way to send out the senior.
Was
Oh,
18
man.
was your senior year?
Yes, 2018.
See, look at her. You look, I pulled it up. I had the schedule ready to go.
That's
0
pretty.
and 10, 0 and 7. Points for 146. Points against 418.
I ain't know that.
Yeah, I scored 418 to 140. Let's go to his junior year real quick before we clock out of
We're
here.
witnessing a murder on the podcast right now.
1 and 10, 1 and 6. They got outscored 378 to 140.
Hey, I wasn't there for that one. I was only on the team for my senior year. So
All
Goodness
right. Well,
gracious.
way to be a
That's
team
hilarious.
player there, Ramir. Where you could have been like,
Way to stick it out.
we all these other teams recruited or something like that. No, you just like, man, we suck, man. We weren't any good.
You gotta wear it on your chest, brother.
It was
52-6. That kind of. Yeah, opened the season. They scored 22 against High School of the Future.
I wasn't even on the team for that game. I didn't figure out that that we were allowed. I went to Science Leadership Academy, so we didn't have a football team. I didn't even know we were allowed to play on that team until week 2. So
And they were just like, come on over. We need players because everybody's about to quit.
they had one chance at a win, and I think it was against like Penn Charter or something like that. And Penn Charter like forfeited the game. That's why there's such a large gap in between. No, I guess it's not. But we were supposed to play Penn Charter at some point.
Oh,
And,
they
like,
don't have that on here. Only was the close game, 20-14.
What went wrong against Olney?
I have no idea. I might.
Only won 3
I
games.
don't remember.
Only won 3 games that year.
Hey, I don't remember anything from that year. All I remember is
Just gotta black out those bad times from your memory and just
They don't have a
press
score down
forward.
for West Philadelphia here. I always like the Speed Boys. I like that. I always like that name. We got cool names around Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
That's
I
a
remember
cool name.
one win, and it was a 9-6 JV win.
9-6 for the JV.
Well, now that we
Yeah,
relived Ramir's amazing, prolific senior season.
First team All-Star season.
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
Ramir made a huddle. He doesn't have any highlights on it. I'm looking at it.
I made a huddle. Did I?
Somebody made you a huddle. I got to tell you though, you got the huddle with no picture, no highlights. Hey,
Oh,
That's
jeez.
hilarious. I didn't even know that.
that ain't a good sign when you don't have any video on your huddle or a photo, Ramir.
Bro, I didn't even know I had a
Oh,
huddle.
man.
I didn't plan on playing football past senior year of high school. So
Hey,
Oh,
I'll drop a
brother.
little bit of breaking news before you get off here. Michael Scott, Dallastown, has opening. He's decommitted from Arizona State here today. One of the faster players in the state, really good playmaker. So that'll be interesting to see where he ends up. He's been on the
Yeah.
Penn Zone a couple times. One time, he's a good kid, good playmaker. So there's some Central PA recruiting news for you guys as we close it out.
Yeah, that's whoever gets him is going to be a good get, and he's fast, and it's a good Dallastown program over there. So he's going to make a college very, very happy. But looks like today he made one pretty sad.
34 minutes, guys. We've got a podcast, I think. Ramir, tell them how to find you on social media.
at Rymir Vaughn on Twitter.
Evan, tell them how to find you on social media.
At Evan Wheaton on Twitter.
And I'm at Sports by B Linder on Twitter. We got tons of content on PennLive.com. We'll be Penn Zone Friday night. Just tons and tons of stuff. Go check it out there. Not just football, all kind of sports and stuff. Check us out at PennLive.com. And until next week, we'll catch you then.
Bone joint, and muscle injuries that can happen without warning. That's why UPMC Orthopedic Care provides convenient walk-in access at our injury clinics throughout the region. No appointments are needed, just walk in for expert evaluation and exceptional care by our team of orthopedic specialists. Clinics are located in Carlisle, Lidditz, Harrisburg, and Enola. For directions and hours or to learn more, visit upmc.com/injuryclinic.